Welcome into WFRV Plus Sports Night. I am your host, Carson Fowler, solo today, flying solo on the WFRV Sports Train. No Kyle Malzahn, no Cameron Ezer today. We've got the pressers from Doug Gottlieb and Kayla Karius and Jenna Geyer that we're going to play for you here in just a little bit, but I'll preview the Horizon League Conference tournament action that's going to happen in the next 2 days. GB, both men and women, hosting home games in the conference tournament for the first time together since 2024. Pretty cool stuff, given what the GB men went through last year, winning just 4 games. They more than quadrupled their win total this year. They are the 5 seed, and they will play the 6 seed in Purdue Fort Wayne. Reason why being the 5 seed's huge? Because they get the home game. That's big for a lot of reasons. GB also swept Purdue Fort Wayne during the regular season, but you know what they say, it's hard to beat a team 3 times. That's absolutely true. And Purdue Fort Wayne has probably one of the best, if not the best, scorer in the Horizon League, which is Corey Hadnot, who was a first-team all Horizon League player this year. Those awards coming out earlier today. As for the GB men, they had 2 players on that all-conference awards list. CJ O'Hara was on the 3rd team, and Preston Reedinger was on the 2nd team. I was a little surprised that neither Marcus Hall nor Justin Allen made one of those teams, at least that honorable mention. However, I don't think the conference does that, which is kind of interesting. And then on the women's side, Kayla Karius, the coach of the year in the conference as the 2nd-year head coach of the GB women. She's got some serious expectations for what she wants to do with her crew. They're the number 1 seed. They actually will see the winner of the game that's happening right now, which is Detroit Mercy and the Milwaukee Panthers, the 11-10 game, sort of like a almost pseudo play-in game to play the 1 seed. It's 27-20 with Detroit leading. GB swept both of those squads during the regular season, so not going to say it should be a win, but I think it should be a win. As for their awards that they received, Jenna Geyer, the player of the year in the conference. She averaged well over 14 points per game. She led GB in scoring, rebounding, and blocks. She was obviously first team all conference, all defensive team as well. Get this, though. I got to get this right. She's the first player of the year to come out of GB since the 2016 team with Marin Crocker. Big time. Also, her coach was a player of the year way back when. So she joined some pretty elite company of the few GB women that have come out of this conference, or how do I want to say this? The few GB women that have been named to this award. So huge honor there. Sophomore Megan Schultz earned 3rd team. Senior Maddie Skorupski was on the 2nd team. And then the award that kind of stuck out to me was the Sportsmanship Award. So every team nominates a player from their roster, and then it's voted on at the end of the year to be the Sportsmanship Award winner. And for Green Bay, it was Cammie Pepler, who was a senior, Hortonville native, played at Milwaukee last year, but decided to come home and play for GB. And she's real special, and Kayla Karius gave sort of a long-winded answer about why she's deserving of that award. Jenna Geyer had some nice things to say about her as well. But we're going to take a quick break here. That was sort of the introduction to what is everything they have to say about the tournament and all these awards. So we'll get to them promptly. We'll start with the men, and then we'll go to the women. But first, take a quick break. WFRV Plus Sports Night. Again, I'm your host, Carson Fowler. We will get to our coaches' press conferences shortly. Again, Doug Gottlieb is going to lead us off. He spoke for about 25 minutes. However, I've shortened it to about 12 minutes, so it's about half of what he said. But he had a lot of good things to say about Preston and CJ being named to the team, things that he thought should have been different, and pretty much his expectations for how the game should go on Tuesday night. And I think he thinks they're going to win, and I kind of think so too. And also just want to highlight something for our viewers watching. Cameron Ezer will join me on WFRV Local 5 tomorrow at promptly 6:20 with a live interview with the Green Bay Athletic Director, Josh Moon. So that'll be a pretty cool interview. That'll be live, not on tape. He'll do it with Josh, and they'll bring it to all of you guys. So I think that'll be really cool. So definitely tune into that. But until then, here's Doug Gottlieb.
Your thoughts on Preston and CJ being named to the all-team honors?
Obviously, really happy for both of them. I thought Rudy should have been first team. I thought CJ should have been second team. I thought Justin Allen or Marcus Hall should have been on that list as well. I could definitely see Justin Allen being a newcomer as well. I was disappointed none of them are on. Neither of those two are on the all defensive team. That would be my biggest issues with it. But I'm proud of those guys. You know, they've had outstanding years. And by the way, they're two elite defensive players. Our defensive numbers are outstanding over the last 7 to 8 games, and they're the biggest reason why, along with Ramel Bethea. So, just again, a little disappointed there. We can take it as a disrespect if we want. Of course, we're going to try to, but I don't know. I thought generally you got 15 of probably the 20 best players in the league on that list. You know, again, Justin Allen and Marcus Hall are definitely part of that group. So disappointed there.
What's the biggest challenge of beating someone 3 times in one season? Does that change things? They're so familiar with you. Is there more of a challenge?
Yeah, I think there's 3 parts to it. It's like I definitely believe our guys respect them. You know, so this is not a case of like we think we're better than them. Like legitimately, our guys to a man know they're really, really talented, and it's a supreme challenge because they are so athletic in those guards. They can really score. And what's hurt us all year up until Saturday was threes, right? Is getting people offline. Now they score middies and they get to the rim too, but we don't recover well out of putting 2 guys on the ball. So I don't think it's complacency mentally from our guys, but I do think it's the one. It's that they have to realize how hard they played in both of those games in order to get there and to match that level of intensity. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, I mean, we pretty much guarded them the same way 2 times in a row. We did a little bit something different in the second game, and we showed them a little bit of zone in the second game. But, you know, John's an excellent offensive coach. So he made a couple adjustments at halftime. There's no doubt in my mind. They're running a little bit different stuff. Of course, you get a couple days to prepare. You're going to put some new things in, knowing what our coverage is. So we have to challenge ourselves as a coaching staff to adjust to what they're doing differently, and how do we then adjust in kind. And then I think the last thing is that despite the fact the score last time, we kept them in arm's distance. We turned it over too much. They're not a great offensive rebounding team, and they got 5 offensive rebounds against us. And frankly, we dodged some bullets. I call it like matrix defense, where you're just dodging bullets, where you're giving up some open ones. And we kind of lucked into it. So we have to be better, turn the ball over less, rebound better, and understand that they're going to completely unload the tank on us. That would be my experience. And they have nothing to lose, right? Come out on the road, you know, disappointing end of their season, even they won their last game. And I just think we have to be prepared for whatever changes they make to what they've done. And I also think that their mentality is going to change, because I think the first time was New Year's Day, they weren't ready. The second time, I'm sure they thought, hey, we weren't ready before. Now they know this is a big game, and I'm guessing we're going to get the best of what they got.
Hey, Doug, do you notice a different type of buzz amongst these guys? Because, like, for Justin, this is a first for him. For Rudy, it's his last chance. Like, how would you describe that energy from the players?
I don't, I hope there's none of that, to be honest with you. I just, honestly, like, our whole focus has just been let's just keep getting better. Let's keep getting better. Keep getting better with our zone, keep getting better with the OBs, keep getting better with the defense, keep getting better with the rotations, keep getting better with our decision-making at each end on what we do, our communication, just keep getting better, and not even think about that. Because I think naturally and organically, tomorrow when they show up, it'll be a little bit different feeling, but we still want to make it feel like just like it was Saturday, you know? So no, I haven't. But I mean, again, we had a light practice and a lot of film yesterday, and then we had a fairly light work today, about an hour and a half of work today. So there hasn't been a chance. And they were at my house last night, so there wasn't a chance for like a vibe check, if you will. I don't know how you do a vibe check, but I mean, look, I know that, you know, there's a bunch of motivating factors, but number one is he does not want to take off that uniform. So lead us. And I think Justin, same thing. He loves it here. Loves playing with these guys. It's been a great basketball experience for him. So, but if you want to keep playing, you gotta dig in at the defensive end.
How do you manage that excitement and make tomorrow feel like Saturday? Because obviously, naturally, like you said, they're going to have that maybe like jitters or excitement or whatever when they take the floor.
It's interesting. I had a conversation with Ramel before Saturday's game, and he was really nervous. He thought he was having like an anxiety attack. And I go, you're not having an anxiety attack. If you're in an anxiety attack, like you wouldn't be able to get out of bed. And we'd have to like, I go, you're nervous. He's like, well, yeah. I go, well, you're nervous because you care. You know, you're excited because you care. Like that's a good thing. So my big thing is, you know, I last year with the losing, this year with the winning, with all that stuff, you just have to use it as fuel. Just have to use it as fuel to get up and do more, do better. Just use it as fuel. You know, if you're feeling in any way tired, because what happens when you play in a game of this magnitude is first TV timeout, you're like, oh, I'm really tired. You're like, oh, I'm so tired. And they all ask out at the same time, like, no, we don't want to take y'all at the same time, because that's really bad when that happens. So I think for me, I have to manage it understanding that before they get that second wind, you got to get them out a little bit, get them cycled through, get them calmed down. But for them, I think they just have to use it as their fuel, their energy source. Because it is quick turnaround Saturday to Tuesday, considering the emotion that was extended on Saturday afternoon and evening.
Green Bay advances to Indianapolis if
We defend. We don't turn the ball over. 3 things every game. Doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter. You play fast, you play slow. Guard the ball, rebound the ball, value the ball. That's it. But I just one last thing is like, look, this is going to be our last time playing at the Crest this year. It's obviously been a very good year, a very good year. How about you show up? You know, is there something, if you have a family, something going on, like, okay, but the state playoffs don't start Tuesday, do they? Okay.
Boys regional quarters, but
Boys regional quarters are Tuesday?
a little bit, yeah.
Okay. Outside, unless
Not everybody.
unless your kid is playing. They announced the playoffs before the season was done. That was so weird. There's a lot of weird stuff. That's a weird one. Like, don't you want to wait? What were the games last week for? Anyway, this is your last chance to see us play this season. If you have not, do yourself a favor. We're a good basketball team. We have unbelievable young men. Many of them are from the state or states that touch Wisconsin. We would love to have you here to show you just what we're building here. And it won't be our last game, but it's going to be our last game at the Crest. So show up early, enjoy yourself. The beer's pretty cheap. I know it's cold. I think it's an awesome environment to watch a college basketball game, and they're fun to watch. You know, they play a fun style. Like, I would enjoy playing the way that they play. So what's holding you back from getting in your car and driving to the Crest, showing up at 6:30, 6:45? It's a 2-hour game. It'll be very exciting, and we need you to help us win. But more than anything, this is your last chance to see a men's Division I college basketball game in Green Bay this season. So show up. And, oh, yeah, by the way, I think if we get over 3,000, if we get over 35, you'd be amazed at how cool this place would be. And what that will do is it'll bring you back to next year. It'll make you excited. And it'll also accomplish the goal, which is we want Wisconsin kids to feel what Rudy felt on Saturday, right? Whereas his high school team all came and watched him, like all his old high school buddies. They were all there. Like, this is the place where you can come back and you can play and be celebrated and play good basketball, and all your friends and all your family can see you. And it's a level that you can compete at. It's the level that we can build at. And it's at a place that I think it's the perfect size for our level. And I want to fill that place to the gills and make it bonkers. Because any of you who've ever been to a high school game, like the Notre Dame Bayport game, or is it Notre Dame De Pere, right? I was going to go over there and I was like, I had some other work to do. And then I turn on, I'm like, there's nothing like a basketball game when the place is full and everybody's standing, there's a buzz, and you can smell the popcorn and the beer, and there's tip-off. Like, that's really cool. Tomorrow night, show up at the Crest, be a part of something really fun, really exciting, a very competitive game, and it's our last home game of the season. That's it. Okay.
Thanks, guys.
So that was kind of Doug's rallying cry to get people to come to the Crest. And there were a lot of people that came for Green Bay's game against, what was it, Youngstown State on senior day when they won. So I think he wants to replicate that experience, but he also knows that he needs fans in that building to win that game. It's absolutely true. You worked this hard to earn a home game. Now take advantage of that opportunity. There's not many leagues in Division I college basketball where you play a home game in your conference tournament. So this is a unique opportunity for GB. And they got to win. They got to win, man. I thought it was kind of funny that Doug acknowledged the betting odds and the fact that, actually, I don't think that one had the betting odds, did it? I can't remember. Anyways, in a clip that I guess I didn't show on here, he acknowledged that GB has the 5th best odds to win the tournament, which is funny because GB is the 5th seed. So yes, that would make sense. But he says it's because Vegas just can't figure this league out. So kind of funny. Wish probably thought I shared that one, but I guess I didn't. But I'm sharing it with you now. We'll take a quick break here on WFRV Plus Sports Night. When we come back, the women, Kayla Karius and Jenna Geyer, the Coach of the Year and the Player of the Year in the Horizon League this year on the women's side. Next. Welcome back to WFRV Plus Sports Night. I am your host, Carson Fowler. My colleague, Blake Borths, reminded me that the TV behind me was actually turned off. So sorry about that one, but it's on now, which is important because it looks nice. Anywho, on the women's side, another update for our matchup for GB's matchup in the 1 versus 10-11 game. Detroit Mercy is up by 6 on the Milwaukee, 37-31 with 30 seconds left in the second quarter. We'll see what happens, but one of those two teams will be playing GB on Wednesday. So without further ado, let's get to Kayla Karius and Jenna Geyer.
Horizon League Player of the Year. What does that mean to you personally, especially as a senior this season?
I don't know. It's just, one, I was not expecting that at all. It came as a shock. We had no idea what was coming this morning. But I think for me personally, it's just a testament to all the work I've put into this program, because it is, like you said, about the program. And I don't know, it's just a good recognition of, the work that I've put in, the work that shows, I guess, on the court, and my teammates, working alongside of us, because I don't think that'd be possible without the people around me this year.
And to win that award, you said you weren't even expecting it. And it is sort of a surprise when you miss those early games and you only start to. How good of a season do you feel like you've had to put up those numbers in a shorter time than everybody else and then get this? How good has the season been in your eyes?
I think it's just been a super fun one for me. I haven't really thought about that. I've just thought about attacking every game the same way. And it's paid off, certainly. I just feel like staying in that aggressive mindset and the game will just come to me. I'll hit my shots, get stops on defense. So I think that has kind of just been something I wanted to continue throughout the season, and I feel like it has.
Kevin Borseth, when he was here, won a bunch of Coach of the Year awards, but what is it like for you to see your coach get that honor after another good season like this?
I think it's just really cool for us as a team. I mean, she mentioned when they presented it this morning to our team that it is all the coaches too, and we can't do it. It's not like a one-man show, and I think that's really cool. All the hard work she puts in, all the hard work our coaching staff puts in to making us who we are and preparing us for games, and coaching us well, and winning games, success, I guess.
Did you notice anything different from her first year as a coach to her second in terms of anything that she changed or tweaked, or has it been pretty much status quo from that first year?
I feel like the main thing would just be that she had to go, our coaching staff in general had to go and find people to bring here. And I feel like very hard, especially in this day, is they found really great people for us 6 returners to play with and to form a team and to have the chemistry we've had in however many months is really cool to see. And I think that's all on them. Like, they did all that. And I think then preparing us in practice, giving us activities to do to get closer. And I think that might be the biggest thing that I've seen from this year to last year is that when you came in last year, that team already was playing together. And so this year it was a bigger change in that regard of she had to go find people, and these people had to work together, play together for us to achieve the success we do now.
And Jenna brings up a really good point about the differences between this year and last. You had everybody when you got here, still had to coach them, install your system, but how big of a challenge was this for you and the staff to basically have to reconfigure so much of the roster and still be so good this year?
Yeah, it was a huge challenge. I mean, that's probably an understatement. I mean, we lost 7 incredible seniors and 85% of scoring in minutes. It was just a huge undertaking, but we also knew it was coming all year. And so I think what was really probably backwards from most experiences as a coach is I saw a very, very successful team sort of at the end of their careers, what the finished product should look like, and the leadership skills and the chemistry and the cohesiveness and the system at its highest level. And then my second year have to do a lot of roster management and acquire the right people, and then sort of like build it back up again, teach the system from the ground up, talk about the very basics of our motion offense, and so on and so forth. And I feel like most people probably experience that backwards. They watch it grow and grow and grow, and it just wasn't what happened. At the same time, we have high standards and high goals here, and so it was like, well, it doesn't matter that we have 8 new people. We have to find a way to go and hang another banner. And it wasn't easy, and it took a lot of hard work in a different way than it did the first year. But really rewarding to see this team do what they did so far, and to see them come together so quickly, and for the leadership skills of a player like Jenna to just grow and mature over the last 2 years, at least from what I saw, it was really cool and rewarding.
It's only been a couple hours, but have you been able to reflect on the fact that Coach of the Year in the Horizon League, and you also were a Player of the Year in this league a while ago? How cool is that for you personally in the biography?
I didn't think about it that way. I didn't. I don't know. I can't wrap my head around much right now besides Wednesday and who are we going to play and how are we going to play and respond. So I don't know. It's hard for me to really get to that point where I'm reflecting because I'm just not yet. Coaches are bad at that. We're bad at stopping in the middle of it and appreciating it.
Yeah. What can you say about Jenna here? You talked her up before the season, and then
I
she
did.
produced.
She did.
Yeah. What can you say about?
Yeah.
What can you say about her season and that?
Yeah.
Giving her that?
Well, like you said, I think most people would forget that she missed a handful of games early, and I think when she did get injured, it was our exhibition game in the middle of October where she was injured, and suddenly it was like, now what are we going to do? We had all summer with her in preseason where we thought this is a player that we're going to center everybody else around as much as the system does. And as far as leadership goes, she was the one. It was like, this is your team, Jenna. And then she goes out, and then it's like, now what are we going to do? So we had to reconfigure some things. As we all know, that's when Megan Schultz stepped up and really solidified her spot in the starting lineup and never left. So always good coming out of situations like that, out of adversity. And then when she did return, it was just really cool to see how quickly she came back and started to feel good again. And I reflect back a little bit at the month of January because I just think she was on a tear in the month of January specifically. I just felt like she had this look in her eye like, you can't guard me, and I'm going to knock down shots outside, inside. And then just her defense just continued to get better and better. And she was also surprised when we told her today she was on the all-defensive team. I mean, I don't know if that's something she would have imagined when she first came in. So that's just a testament to how hard she works. And I just think there's nobody more deserving. And I think her teammates would all echo the same message. I just think you don't have a player come along always where you that player just cares so much about this program. She will care about it long after she's gone. And she wasn't the leading scorer in the league. That's the also really impressive thing. This program has had a ton of very, really, really good players come out of it that have not been Conference Player of the Year. And in fact, we went back and reflected on all the previous Green Bay players who were Conference Player of the Year this morning. And I think the last one was 16-17 with Marin. Mm-hmm. So that's a really impressive group for her to be a part of. But the respect from the league when you're not, even in the top 3 and leading scorers in the league says a lot. It says that they saw her hard work and they respected her game and they respected her leading the way for a team that came out on top in the regular season.
And I realize you don't dig deep into this, but when you have a lot of good players, is it sometimes tough to get that player of the year because they're
Very.
all kind of knocking each other out
Yeah.
with votes and then, so is it kind of a team recognition to actually get that award?
Yeah, of course. Of course. As we talked about this morning, we announced it to the team because otherwise it was going to come out before practice. We brought them together before that and did a little thing to. They had no idea. None of them. Even when we were going through it, they were all blank staring at me, including Jenna. So it was actually more fun that way because they were totally shocked. But my message, and she handled it great right away. Her message was, I couldn't do this without you guys. I can't pass the ball to myself. She said, I don't want to bring the ball up the floor by myself. So I literally couldn't do it without you, which was a perfect message. It was such a Green Bay kid message. And then my message was to echo that, was that nobody does this alone. And it's almost the curse of our system that we don't end up with more player of the year, but awards. But if we cut the net down, then we're a happy group. And you have to know that when you come here. You don't come here with the intent to win an individual award because our track record actually isn't that great for doing that. So you come here to do bigger things as a group and to sacrifice a little bit of yourself for the good of the whole.
You don't know yet who you're playing, but it's going to be here pretty soon. What's the vibe of this team right now, a couple days before the game?
Yeah.
Are you feeling pretty good about it?
Yeah, great. I mean, like you said, we it's actually great that we don't know our opponent because we just got to be ourselves today. And we got to regroup and look at things that were really tactical errors that were made that we can fix. That they're fixable. We and got back on the floor today and worked at them. And we're really competitive. And I just really like our mindset. I think this is a group that cares an awful, awful lot. And certainly nobody wants to do what we did on Saturday going into the tournament. Everybody wants to go in with a win. Everybody wants to feel really good about how they played. And I don't think we had either on Saturday. I don't think we felt good about how we played, and we clearly didn't come out with a win. So I think the players took it upon themselves to regroup on their own without coaches, which was a great idea. And then I think they were in really good spirits today. They care, and they're disappointed on how they played. They know that they're better than that. They know we're better than that. And I just think that they're going to respond the right way. I trust that.
Kayla, Cami Pepler named the Sportsmanship Award finalist. Is that something that you guys voted on, or is that a league recognition?
Okay, so each coach nominates one player from their team, and then we as coaches vote on who the Sportsmanship Award winner is out of that bunch.
And why was she the Sportsmanship?
Yeah, because I think she is a great leader, and I think she wears Green Bay on her chest with all the right intentions. And I think that for us, she's always been the ultimate competitor. Back in the middle of June, when nobody was sitting in the stands and they were playing pickup, that kid was bleeding and had red cheeks and was fighting for her life on every possession when nobody was watching, and it wasn't even in season. And I just think that when you have that level of competitiveness and at the same time has the ultimate respect from her teammates, she's a phenomenal person and a great teammate. I think that's where it stems from, and I think has respect for a lot of other kids in the league too. So I just think, really represents Green Bay at the highest level.
Yep. So that was Kayla Karius. I liked at the end there. I talked about Cami Pepler and her being the finalist of Green Bay's team chosen by the team to be the Sportsmanship Award winner. Pretty cool award, honestly. I mean, you can be a really, really good competitor, but to do it the right way, I think is even harder because you're always under the microscope. You're always under the lens of everyone else watching. And to be at your best physically and mentally and in a sportsmanship capacity all the time, I think that's pretty cool. So shout out Cami Pepler. That's super cool. Really quick update. Also, I just realized that this is going to tape later, so all of these little updates will mean absolutely nothing by 10:30. But for right now, that I'm taping this at 8 o'clock, Detroit Mercy is leading Milwaukee by 6 at halftime. So if that's any precursor to how this game ends, maybe Detroit Mercy will win. But by 10:30, they will have already won. So there you go. That'll pretty much do it on WFRV Plus Sports Night. Glad we could bring you Doug Gottlieb, Kayla Karius, Jenna Geyer, and all they had to say about conference tournaments at the Crest Event Center on Tuesday and Wednesday, and everything about the end of season Horizon League awards. But that'll pretty much do it for this episode, edition, whatever you want to call it, of WFRV Plus Sports Night. We'll see you next week.